Welcome back to the Pull the Pin podcast. I want to talk about the purpose of life. We all find ourselves in those seasons where we're like, man, does what I'm doing even matter? Does any of this even add up to anything? Like, what is the point? Who cares? What am I doing in my life? Well, we've got answers for all that and more. Stay tuned. But before that, cue up that intro for me. What is the purpose or meaning? Guys, that is something that a lot of us have struggled with, and not just in any single season of life. It's not just about like, your midlife crisis or whatever. I think we go through that thought process at a lot of different seasons of our lives. Whether it's a move, whether it's a job transition, whether it's family, whether it's being stuck in the same place for a long time, whatever it is, we find ourselves in those seasons where we're like, damn, what am I doing in my life? It's tough. It's tough. I know for myself, being in my 30s and single, you kind of find yourself at points like, wow, what am I doing? What am I doing here? What am I doing? What am I doing? This is kind of weird. Am I weird? It's easy to get stuck in those seasons and be like, what is the purpose of my life? But I want to say a statement that I think is very true, that I hope rings true for people. Please listen up. But before you do that, we're going to start the ceremonial fire. If you're just listening to this, we have not a little. We have a big fire top table thing that I'm going to light on fire. It's like way bigger than a candle. It's nice and warm, everyone. I wish I could. Doesn't make any noise. Anyway, ceremonious flame has now been lit, everybody. Okay? So you know. This statement I think is very important. Hear me on this, please. I think you discover the purpose. No, I don't say I think. You discover the purpose to life by living it. Huh? I'm going to say it again. You discover the purpose to life by living it. Now, notice I didn't say thinking your way through it, mapping out, the next 10 steps in 10 years of your life, and here's my big goals, and my mission statement, and here, it's like all that self-helpy bullshit that I don't really care for very much. I just feel like it's really easy for us to, think that, okay, if I sit down and really work through and just take all this time, but I don't think that helps. I'm not a fan for a lot of reasons. I want to kind of explain. So, in my eyes, when we get too stuck in our heads about what our purpose is, what our mission is, what our, this big, huge narrative of like our lives, we end up kind of getting stuck. Because we'll develop like answers and things, but then we don't really know what to do with them. And so we get kind of confused, and then we get busy with life, and then we don't really address it, and we get stuck in our job and all this kind of stuff, and we just kind of like do like just circles in our head constantly, just thinking about what our purpose should be. And I find, and this is like really sucks, I say to myself, this is why I'm saying that like when you live life, experience informs your perspective on things more than anything else, man. It just does. It does. You can read about stuff all day. You can hear about stuff. But when you actually live it, it's a whole other animal. Jack. Coffee. Excuse me. It's a whole other animal. Experience is a incredible teacher. Whether those experiences are good or bad, those things shape how you think. But I know that with people that don't act, that just kind of get stuck in that loop of like, what is my purpose? One of the biggest, most awful, detrimental things to a person happens in those moments to me. People get stuck, and then they turn into, it ranges from this. They start to become passive because they don't know what to do. Worse, they become fearful, right? Like that they don't want to take a step. They don't really know what to do. Then they're kind of stuck in their head. I think at worst, it makes people hit my chin on the mic. I think at worst, it makes people a victim. At worst, it makes people a victim. Becoming a victim is a very dangerous road to go down, and not one that you want to go down at all. It's not a good idea. People, I think I hear it a lot too in being in like creative fields, because artists always have this bleeding heart about wanting to do what they love and their passion and their purpose, and fair, I like to do what I'm passionate about, what I care about, absolutely. But when you only stay in that world, never to find how to get out of it, you're kind of you're just stuck. I find that some people get not just passive, But they start to feel like the world's out to get them. And they get stuck just constantly saying, well, I don't know what to do. Where am I supposed to go? What do I do? You know, and every reason and excuse for why they should stay stuck in their circumstances. And when you get on victim road, what happens is this, man. I have seen this. People kind of burn. No, they don't kind of. They do. People burn out on that. Because after just talking about the same narrative all the time, being like, my life can't change. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know what my meaning is. I don't know where I'm going. Man, oh man, is that rough company. That is rough company to be around, partner. That is rough company. It is. It's rough to be around someone that just kind of mopes, man. I've been there, all right? I'm not like excluding myself and being like, oh, you'll never. I'm just saying that when you get in that victim mindset, the danger is like you get stuck. You don't do anything. You don't take any steps. And you really kind of just feel like the world's out to get you and you want people to feel sorry for you. Or you just live in this state of like, hey, man, how's it going? It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I'm like, I don't know. Listen, let me give you a little clue for life. No one knows what they're doing. Even the people that are, quote unquote, doing it, they don't know what they're doing. They're just doing it. It's the truth. They're just doing it, man. You discover your purpose, you're living. I'm telling you. Nobody really knows what they're doing. I believe William Goldman in the film industry, I think he's a writer, says, I think this is the quote, and I'm not even going to look it up because I'm lazy. No one knows anything. Nobody knows anything. It's true. There's a misconception that people that are living out the things that they wanted to do knew exactly what to do. It's not true. They just acted on a desire, an unction, a feeling, something inside of them where they're like, you know what, I like this or whatever it might be, and I want to pursue this. And they took a step. But maybe some people sat down and like wrote things out. But the biggest thing is this, is they didn't get hung up on the meta narrative of their life because it's like, that's going to change. It's going to evolve, man. Your purpose, your mission in life is going to evolve. It's going to grow. I mean, imagine having like sitting down and writing your mission statement for your life when you're like 25 or 20. And like here I am, like that's 15 years ago. I'm 35 now. I imagine looking at that and being like, yeah, I trust what he had to say compared to where I am now. Now I'm not putting anybody down who's like younger. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying for my life compared to like what's happened in the past 50. Woo! Dear God. Wow, man. 15 years. Woo! 15 years, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I don't know why. It just kind of hit me. I think I just had like a quick movie play in my head the past 15 years. Like, dear God. Woo! My Lord. Man, what was I saying? Yeah, life just changes, man. And I think about that too, that like when you get stuck or you try to just like map out your purpose in life, it's like the problem is like life is going to change. And if you live, your experiences are going to inform how you see life. I would venture to say the majority of people that their perspective on life when they were 15 or 18 or 21 or is probably dramatically different in their 30s, or 40s or whatever. Or teenager to 20s, whatever the time frame is. And even in a year, a lot can happen in a year. Ain't that the truth? So the other problem I have really with like getting too hung up on defining it is that like it's going to change as you live. It's going to evolve. It is. And it should. That's a healthy thing. That's like a good thing. You shouldn't have a stagnant perspective on the world. I don't think. I mean, not if the experiences that you've had are like important enough, It should evolve. Before we go on, guys, so just for like I can make funny edits. Probably won't. I don't feel like editing much to this video at all. I don't feel like editing. I don't. Yeah, I hate editing. Coffee break. We're gonna take a little break, even just for our audio people. I have this game called Splickety Lit. Now, I think my sister-in-law and my brother, I think they gave me this game probably like 15 years ago or 20. Long time. It's sat in my basement. I've had it like forever. Well, I just opened it. And boy, is it silly. It is a silly game. So the way the game is played is the question and answer. The final, what the answer is, it changes the first two letters. I'll give you an example, okay? So it changes the first two letters for what the question is and what the answer is. So it's splickety-lit here. It says this. Here's the question, everyone. For our audio listeners, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Here we go, little question round. Here's how splickety-lit is played, I think. I don't even know. Which actress won an Oscar for her role in Monsters Mall. Let me say it again for everyone. Which actress won an Oscar for her role in Monsters Mall? Halle Berry. Wrong. Because Monsters Mall is actually Monsters Ball. So the answer isn't Halle Berry, it's Bali Harry. Do you get it? You understand how this game is played? You change the first letter of these things. Do you understand? Monsters Mall instead of Monsters Ball. Bali Harry instead of Halle Berry. Okay, we're going to do another one now. Now that you guys get the game, we're just going to do one more. It's hot. Now it's hot. Let's car on fire. Okay, next one. We're going to do one more and we'll get back to the point at hand, everybody. Okay, here we go. This Dallender Kate is supposed to bring Lad Buck. This game is crazy. What? This Dallender Kate is supposed to bring Lad Buck. You get it? Get the answer, anybody? Anyone? Here it is. Oh, I'm even having a hard time with this. Friday the 15th. Friday the 15th. You get it? Friday the 15th. I have the answer and I'm having a hard time. So what it really is this calendar date is supposed to bring bad luck. Friday the 13th. That's Splickety Lit, everyone. Clap it up for Splickety Lit. All right, if you got that answer, you get 100 bonus points. Email me at my email address, and I will send you. I'll Venmo you. No, don't even email. Don't even email me so I can Venmo you. Okay. Just send it to Hotmail. My brother. I love my brother, man. My broski. We used to play video games and stuff growing up, and like he would always be the one to like hook up the cords and all this kind of stuff. We used to call him Electro. I don't know why. But as we got older, I did video and film and stuff. He's a pastor, and my field requires obviously more technical stuff on the regular. And I love it. His email. He has a Yahoo email. He still has a Yahoo email. Tim, you're the man. I love it. Hey, for all you, shout out to everybody out there who's got Yahoo emails. Shout out, people. To all the Yahoo email people out there. Yes, my parents got Comcast.net. Yes. I'm not saying everybody has to have Gmail. I'm not trying to say that. Yahoo just cracks me up every time I send him something, if I have to email something. Anyway, that's a tangent. That's the end of that segment, everybody. Back to the point at hand. Life evolves and changes, which affects your perspective, right? Which affects like your purpose, your mission, whatever it might be. Now, I do think what is really important in that is if it's like it's good to define the bigger picture of like where you want your life to go, or the big things that really matter to you, right? Like in general, these are the things that matter to me. Like I know for me, like being a Christian, it's okay. In general, I know that like I want to be able to like communicate and create and do stuff I feel like that aligns up with like the Bible. And I'm not saying make Christian films or things, not like that at all. But like use like the God-given abilities or whatever it is to create things that are meaningful and share the truth. That's kind of like a bigger idea, and it's evolved over time. There's been a time where it was music. There's been a time where it's been other. I did acting more, and then it became film, and I'm doing more like marketing now. Like it's evolved right through time. But having that big idea was helpful. But I think this is what's the best part about it is have the big idea. But then under that, just pick one small thing you can do underneath that. And I'm not even saying like rack your brain over right. Like it's not even that. Like literally, like do you have any desire inside of you for anything? Any inkling of something that you want to try? Something you want to do? Somewhere you want to go? Something you want to ask out? I don't know. Like whatever it is, like is there any kind of inkling inside of you about anything? In my eyes, like, okay, cool. If it's in line with your values, great. Do it. Go. Try. Do it. I don't know. Whatever it is. And if you're like, well, I can't, then pick something else that you can. Stop being a victim. Like, just like find one actionable step towards like the things you think are important and take that step. Because the reality is this, like you think about like in my head, like if I make this like, here's my mission statement. It's like, okay, great. Well, that's my gigantic mission statement for life. I want to create this for the king of the, it's like, okay, well then now what do? It's like, well, let's make a list and walk back. And what's the step before that? And the step before that, right? Even if you make a detailed list of where you want your life to go and the direction and here's the steps, the problem is that like you could take the first step and it could completely blow up your entire mission. It could blow up every step after that. It could be like, whoa, or just at least rearrange it or whatever it is. You're like, man, I spent all this time outlining this, and yet now with this new information, this new data in life, I was wrong. And that's why I'm like, it's good to have a big picture idea, but I think it's good to just start with one thing, start small, pick something, and just go and act on it. Because you're going to learn a lot, and that's going to inform your perspective. I just think at most, man, 2 steps, maybe, like at least 1 or 2 steps ahead. I've had people in my life say before, like, well, I don't have my life's like as mapped out as you do. And I'm like, I don't have my life super mapped out. It was never my plan to live in Colorado Springs, that's for sure. It was never my plan to, end up doing any of the things that I did. It was never my plan to be doing marketing work and creative direction and stuff. Like I'm in this I don't know. I didn't know how I got here, but I had a big picture idea, and I think about like a part of like my story. My story started with music before film. I actually, when I was 18, it's a whole crazy season of life. But I was 18, so I started later. I remember hearing some music and things, and I kind of had like creative stuff stirring inside of me, and I was really compelled by a certain song that I heard that I thought was really nice, really beautiful. I was compelled, and I thought, I want to do something about this. I want to take piano lessons. And so I did. Like I did, right? Like it's like I didn't have to get hung up on the idea for like a million years about like should I, shouldn't I, make a cost analysis and a pros and cons list, and it's like I thought my roommate just goes like, oh, I don't have to go through all this like rigmarole, It's like I know in general I want to do something creative, and it's like I love this song. I'd love to learn the piano. Well, let's go start taking lessons. One very simple small step, and that simple small step changed my life. I love playing the piano. My first teacher really pounded music theory into my head, and I loved that so much. And that was the motivation eventually for me to want to go to college. And I was going to go to college. Oh, my voice. That was motivation for me to go to college. Now, I found out real quick that being a music major is insane. Shout out all the music majors out there. I was like, whoa, this is a little intense. But I had some super ambiguous degree, Christian ministries. I had like over 30 elective credits, and I just kept learning music theory, and I kept taking lessons, and I took composition. I loved it. But like that notion to like pursue music then led me to go to college. And I was at college, music practicing was what kind of killed me, ran its course in my life, and I was like, ugh, burned out. But being there, I discovered acting. And the same thing with acting. It was like, I'd never really acted before. I didn't do like kids' plays and things. And it was like, oh man, I'm scared, what do I do? It's like, well, I'm not going to know unless I try. And it's like, well, does this line up with my 5-year plan of da-da-da-da-da-da? It's like, I don't know. Who cares? I've never tried it before. How do I know? It's like, well, what's something I can do? It's like, well, what I can do is like take acting 1. Got extra credits for it. I'll take acting 1. So you just take a step. Now, it sounds like, in acting, obviously, like that changed my life, and it led me eventually to film, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't mean that everything I've tried has worked out. There have been so many things that I've done, taken a step towards, tried, whatever, and been wrong. And that's okay to be wrong. Unless you're like blowing up your life or destroying someone else's life. Don't do that. Don't do it. But it's okay to be wrong if you're trying something in sincerity and you're like, hey, maybe this is something that, I'd like to try this, or I'd like to do this, or whatever it is. And it doesn't work out necessarily. That's okay. There's a time where like pursuing music, I was like, I want to do this. I don't know. And I didn't know. I had no idea that on the horizon was going to come something like acting. And then that was like, I had no idea. But the other part that is important with that is like, give yourself to the thing that you are doing. So like, have the big idea, have a step, and then really fully try. Don't dabble. Like, don't do that. Like, identify something you want to do, and then actually do it. Try. Give yourself to it. Because the only way that you're going to really understand if you want to do something, if there's meaning in it, if it's going to resonate with you, is to like fully give yourself to it. I see people so many times like want to like try something, and they're kind of in and out and this and that. It's like the only way you're going to really discover if it's going to work out or not is to like really just be all in. I'm in. I'm all in, 100%. Let's do it. You learn way faster, which goes back to the main idea, and that's what? What is it, people? Say it with me. Johnny. I forgot. Hold on. Special guest appearance for the end of the episode, everybody. Special guest that I left waiting in the hallway in the green room is Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, what you gotta say, man? Dude, Johnny's so funny, man. Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's our guest. Johnny agrees that he lived life. Johnny agrees. If you want to discover the purpose of life, live life. It's the truth. It really is. You're going to learn a lot more through doing than you are just thinking yourself around in circles. I don't think that that's the answer, okay? I really don't. And I know for myself, in my own life, just take a step. Having the big picture value, yes, but just taking a step. Doing something. And not being a victim. Look, the world's out to get us all, okay? We're all, who said this? We're all eating shit sandwiches. Oh, I think it was Bill Burr, maybe. We're all eating shit sandwiches or something. Like, we're all in the shit. We're all in the sewage. We're all, to a different degree for different people, I get it, but like, we're all out here trying to survive. But man, don't make yourself a victim. Please don't do that, man, because at the end of the day, like, no one can get you out of a situation but you. Careful. So anyway, guys, that's what I say for this episode. I forgot to mention, I want to mention today one of our sponsors. I actually have a sponsor, guys. The sponsor of today's episode is Donut Shop Coffee K-Cups. K-Cups, guys. Thank you to Donut Shop for sponsoring this podcast. Keurig. Donut Shop. What is this company? Is it Donut Shop? Is that the company's name? Donut Shop Coffee. Donut Shop Coffee. I got to do an ad read. Sorry, guys. I have to do an ad read for Donut Shop. And if anybody has a problem with K-Cups and using a Keurig, you can go Cake Rocks. Who gives a people are like, I'm a coffee snob. I'm like, it's coffee. It's just coffee. Shut the fuck up. It's just coffee, man. Just give me a cup of Joe. Give me to go to a diner and just drink a black cup of coffee. Yes. And that's why I love Donut Shop Coffee. They understand. Get ready to dive headfirst into a cup of delicious coffee. With our full body taste, you can reimagine the limits of coffee and turn every day into a treat, no matter how sweet and creamy you make it. Turn your day into a creamy day. That's okay. Sorry. I'm going to lose the sponsor. So drink up and set your taste buds to discovery mode. That's Donut Shop Coffee. The original. Shout out to that sponsor. They're funding this whole podcast, thankfully. So I'm very grateful. To them and everything they've contributed to my life. I know personally. We're gonna sit them down here a little bit. Thank you, Donut Shop. Now back to the show. All right, everybody. That's all I got. I don't feel like editing these videos that much. Just want to throw it out there. So watch it if you like. I don't really care if you don't. Guys, I'll say the last time, you discover the purpose to life by living it. Don't get stuck in your head. Don't make excuses. Don't be a victim. Don't waste too much time trying to write, 5 steps for this and that. And then don't get afraid if you fail. Be afraid if you fail. Just take a step, man. Give yourself fully to it. See it through, please. And know that you will discover your purpose through living life. You discover the purpose of life through living it. Okay, I've said it a million times, but it bears saying. All right, well, it's coffee time. And that's all I got to say. Anything else, Johnny? Dude, Johnny's great, man. He's hilarious. All right, well, that's about that. Podcast over. Goodbye.